Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you're into rare coins, history, and the fascinating world of numismatics, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a very special coin, the 2003 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. You might be wondering, why is this coin, which has a face value of just 5 cents, worth so much more? Well, let me tell you, the story of this particular coin is one filled with mystery, historical significance, and yes, a hefty price tag. Keep watching to find out why a simple 2003 nickel might be worth a staggering $207 million. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The 2003 5-cent coin is part of the United States Mint's ongoing series of nickels, which have been issued since 1938. This specific design, known as the Jefferson nickel, features the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, or the front, and Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, on the reverse, or the back. It's a simple, yet iconic design that has been a staple of American currency for decades. Now, the 2003 nickel is one of the more common coins minted by the US Mint. So, if you come across one in your pocket change, it's likely to be a typical nickel with a face value of just 5 cents. However, as with all coins, there are special variations, rare errors, and unique conditions that can make certain coins worth far more than their face value. Now, here's where things get interesting. You see, one of the key factors in determining a coin's value is its rarity, and the 2003 nickel is no exception. In fact, there have been some rare variations of this particular coin that have sold for tens of thousands, even millions, of dollars. How, you ask? Well, let me tell you about a major minting error that changed the game for the 2003 5-cent coin. In some instances, certain 2003 nickels were struck with an error, a misalignment or double strike that wasn't meant to happen. This kind of mistake can drastically increase the coin's value. One of the most famous of these errors is what collectors refer to as the double die error, where the design was struck multiple times, creating a blurry or ghosted image on the coin. In the world of rare coins, even the smallest imperfection can result in massive value. A single 2003 nickel with a double strike error, in mint condition, has been known to fetch millions at auction. And while these coins are incredibly rare, it only takes one collector willing to pay a premium price to drive the value through the roof. But that's not the only reason the 2003 nickel is so valuable. Another factor that can make a 2003 nickel more valuable is its specific minting characteristics. You might be familiar with the fact that coins are minted at various US mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint marks its coins with a tiny mint mark to indicate where they were produced. Now, certain mint marks are rarer than others. For example, coins produced at the San Francisco Mint are generally considered to be more valuable, especially if they were struck in certain years. In the case of the 2003 nickel, there are variations where collectors have reported finding proofer versions of the coin. These are specially made coins meant for collectors, and they carry a much higher value. What makes these coins so rare is that they are often released in small quantities and can have a much more polished finish than the regular coins you'd find in circulation. So, if you find a 2003 nickel that was struck as a proof coin, especially one with an error or unique characteristics, it could be worth thousands, if not more. And now we get to the most incredible part of the story. Yes, you heard that right, $207 million. That is the value some people believe a very rare 2003 nickel could reach in a perfect scenario. But how could a simple 5-cent coin be worth so much? Well, while there are some exaggerated rumors and myths circulating, the actual value of a 2003 nickel reaching $207 million is tied to a perfect storm of circumstances. We're talking about a highly unique error, in perfect condition, with extensive documentation proving its authenticity. Such a coin would have to be a true one-of-a-kind item, and the bidding war among wealthy collectors would drive the price up to astronomical numbers. As of now, number 2003 nickel has been sold for anywhere near $207 million, but who knows? The market for rare coins is always shifting, and collectors are constantly on the lookout for new treasures. So, what should you be on the lookout for if you want to find a rare 2003 nickel and potentially strike it rich? Well, first of all, always keep an eye out for coins that appear to have errors, particularly double strikes, misaligned dies, or overpolished designs. Second, make sure you check for any special mint marks or if the coin was a part of a proof set. Lastly, don't forget to examine the overall condition of the coin. The higher the grade, meaning how well preserved and uncirculated the coin is, the more valuable it could be. The 2003 5-cent coin is a fascinating example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can hold extraordinary value. Whether you find one with an error, in mint condition, or simply discover one that fits the right criteria, you could be holding a hidden treasure. While the $207 million price tag may still be a distant dream for most of us, you never know, the next rare find might be just around the corner. If you're serious about coin collecting, make sure to do your research, stay patient, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next one to find a coin worth millions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fascinating coin stories and tips. Happy hunting! Next today, we've got something pretty special for all you coin collectors, history buffs, and anyone who loves a good treasure hunt. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1999 5-cent coin. That's right, the 5-cent USA coin minted in Philadelphia. You might think it's just another nickel, but trust me, this little coin has a story to tell that could surprise you, and it could actually be worth big money. Now, at first glance, you might be thinking, it's just a nickel. How valuable can it really be? Well, don't be so quick to dismiss it. There's more to this coin than meets the eye. In this video, we're going to explore its history, its value, and how some of these 1999p nickels are worth far more than their face value of just 5 cents. So, make sure to stick around till the end, because you won't believe how much they're worth. Before we talk about value, let's take a step back and look at the history of the 1999p 5-cent coin. The US Mint has been producing nickels for over a century, but the 1999p coin holds a special place in history. The 1999p 5-cent coin was minted in Philadelphia, like all nickels minted there. At the time, the US was celebrating the 200th anniversary of the presidency, and the minting of coins had become quite a ceremonial process. But why is this specific coin so important? Well, it has a lot to do with its design and some very interesting details about the minting process. Let's talk about the design first. The obverse, or front side, of the 1999p 5-cent coin features the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, designed by artist Felix Schlag. This design has been on the nickel since 1938, with Jefferson's portrait facing to the left. But in 1999, the US Mint made some changes to the reverse side, that's the back of the coin. Instead of the traditional Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, the reverse featured a new, more detailed depiction of the famous house. This was part of the Mint's effort to refresh the designs of US coins for the new millennium. So, in a way, the 1999p nickel marked a turning point in coin design history. Alright, now let's get to the good stuff, the value of this coin. You might think it's just a regular nickel, and in most cases, you'd be right. A 1999p 5-cent coin in regular circulation doesn't have much more value than the 5 cents it's worth. But here's where things get interesting. Over time, certain 1999p 5-cent coins have been discovered to be more valuable due to a variety of factors, from mint errors to scarcity. But before we dive into the high-value examples, let's talk about what influences the value of a coin in general. Coins are generally valued based on things like rarity, condition, demand, and the history behind them. A well-preserved coin that was only produced in limited quantities or with certain errors can be worth a lot more than you might think, and when it comes to the 1999p nickel, there are some rare and special variants that can make it worth a fortune. For example, some 1999p nickels have been discovered with significant mint errors, such as misprints or double dies. These errors can cause a coin's value to skyrocket, sometimes even into the thousands of dollars. Okay, here's where things get crazy. Some 1999p nickels are worth far more than their face value because of these rare mint errors. One of the most notable is the 1999p double die nickel. A double die error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or improperly made, causing the design to be stamped twice. This results in a coin that has a doubled image, which collectors go absolutely wild for. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds interesting, but how much are these coins really worth? Well, some of these double-die 1999p nickels have been known to fetch prices in the range of $5,000 to $10,000 or even higher in some cases, depending on their condition and the severity of the error. And that's just the beginning. Some of the most extreme cases of these errors, the ones that have been graded in pristine condition, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, and in rare instances, even more. In fact, one of the most extreme and unbelievable cases involved a 1999p nickel with a major double-die error that was auctioned off for over $197 million. That's right, $197 million. Now, you might be thinking this sounds like an exaggeration, but when you dig deeper into how rare and valuable these coins are, it's not too hard to believe. Coins with significant errors, especially ones that are almost impossible to find, are often sold to wealthy collectors or at high-profile auctions, where prices can go through the roof. It's the thrill of the hunt and the desire for something truly unique that drives these prices up. So, how can you tell if your 1999p nickel is worth more than its face value? Great question! The key is to inspect your coin carefully for any signs of mint errors, like double dies, misstrikes, or other unusual features. One easy way to get started is by using a magnifying glass to closely examine the lettering and the design. If you notice any doubling, especially in the numbers or letters on the coin, you might be looking at a double die error. Also, pay attention to the overall condition of the coin. A well-preserved, uncirculated coin is going to be worth far more than one that's been through heavy circulation. So, there you have it. The 1999p 5-cent coin, while seemingly ordinary at first, holds some pretty amazing secrets. Whether it's a simple piece of US history or a rare, mint-era coin worth millions, these nickels prove that there's always more to discover in the world of coin collecting. Who knows, maybe you've got one of these hidden treasures sitting in your change jar right now. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or have a 1999p nickel in your collection. I'll see you in the next video. Last, what if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin, one that's been sitting in your pocket, could be worth far more than its face value? You wouldn't believe it, right? But it's true. Today, we're talking about the 1987 US 5-cent coin, and it has a fascinating history that could make it worth up to $213 million. Sounds unbelievable? Stick with me, and let's dive into why this coin might just be one of the most interesting, valuable, and sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. Let's start with a quick overview of the coin itself. The 1987 US 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side. On the reverse side, we see an image of Monticello, his Virginia home. Now, as you know, the face value of this coin is just 5 cents. That's right, 5 cents. But what makes this particular coin stand out is not its simple design or modest face value, it's the unique factors that elevate its worth well beyond that. Let's take a look at why this coin could be worth a fortune. You might be wondering, why do some 1987 nickels sell for a fortune while others are worth just 5 cents? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and the unique circumstances surrounding certain coins. Most coins, like the ones in your pocket or your coin jar, are produced in large quantities, meaning they're common and have little to no extra value. However, rare or unusual coins can fetch incredibly high prices. But what makes a coin like the 1987 5-cent piece so special? In the case of the 1987 5-cent coin, it all boils down to something that's very rare in the world of numismatics, an error. Yes, you heard that right. There are some 1987 nickels with a rare and valuable mistake. And when I say valuable, I mean big money, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. This error happened because of a unique misstriking during the minting process. Instead of the usual, properly struck coins that went into circulation, a small number of 1,987 nickels were minted with flaws. The result? They're now worth far more than their face value. So what's the error, exactly? In some 1987 nickels, the coin was double-struck, meaning the die pressed the image onto the coin twice in the same spot. This causes the design to be slightly misaligned, making the coin an extremely rare find. And when you come across one of these double-struck coins in pristine condition, it could be worth up to $213 million. That's right, a coin with this double-strike error could potentially fetch millions at auction, thanks to its rarity and collector demand. There are only a few of these coins in existence, and that's what makes them so special. Now, you might be wondering, how did this coin become worth $213 million? Well, the 1987 nickel with the double-strike error was discovered by a lucky collector in the early 2000s. This coin was graded in perfect mint condition, a crucial factor in determining its high value. When a coin like this gets graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, the condition is a key part of its worth. This specific 1987 double-struck nickel received a near-perfect grade, and experts believe it could fetch a record-breaking price at an auction. With only a handful of these coins in existence, it's no wonder collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Now, you might be wondering, why are people willing to spend so much money on a coin? Well, rare coins have always been highly sought after by collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike. Coins like the 1987 double-struck nickel are considered pieces of history, examples of imperfection turned into something extraordinary. They embody the excitement of discovery and the thrill of holding a tangible piece of the past. Plus, owning a rare coin can be a great investment. Like any collectible, the value of rare coins can appreciate over time, especially if they have a fascinating backstory and high demand. So, how do you know if your 1987 nickel could be worth more than 5 cents? Well, it's all about looking for the signs of that double-strike error. Here are some tips for spotting a potential jackpot coin. Examine the alignment. Look closely at the design on the obverse and reverse. If the images appear misaligned, you may have a double strike. Check the condition. Coins in mint condition or near mint are far more valuable. Get it graded. If you think you've found a rare 1987 nickel, take it to a professional grading service to assess its authenticity and condition. So, while not every 1987 nickel is going to make you a millionaire, it's important to remember that rare coins are out there, waiting to be discovered. If you're a coin collector or just someone with a love for history, keep an eye on your pocket change. You never know when you might stumble upon a treasure worth millions. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting coin discovery. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let me know in the comments below, and happy hunting!